Hello, very happy to introduce you to a new version of Routine, which is packed with new functionalities that I'm sure you will like because they all really bring everything together. So let's start. The first one is AI meeting notes, which I know it's not something really new, a lot of services exist, but really in the context of Routine, it makes a lot of sense. So let me explain why. The first one is that you already take notes in your meetings in Routine. You just do it manually, now it's going to be done automatically for you. The second reason is that the existing services tend to basically create another data silo in the sense that the notes and the action items live in this dedicated service, which is the AI meeting notes recorder, which lives far away from the tool that you use for actually working on a daily basis. And so those notes are rarely seen, and the action items are not really translated into tasks that you actually need in your day-to-day. So not ideal. In Routine, we can put the data where you already have everything, and we can also convert the action items into real tasks, as I will show you. So let's give it a go. I'm going to start the recording to talk about the new, obviously, AI capability for automatically summarizing notes. Now, another feature which is really, really interesting is that the AI is going to take the notes that you take personally and integrate those into the summary. So if you were to take something like that, it's going to take that at the end in the summary. You don't have to put that really well written, just jot down some notes that you would like to be incorporated into the summary, even though it was not discussed, for instance. And then when you stop, the AI is going to generate that summary with taking into account those notes, but also, as you can see here, but also generating action items. And those action items are real tasks, so you can plan them, you can then see them in your agenda, for instance, and then you can even block time if you wanted, because those are just regular tasks as all the other ones. So really great because it's easy to use, it really blends into your workflow and really take that to the rest, which is task and beyond, which brings me to the next topic. The next topic is all about extending the original entities, which we call objects. Let me explain what I mean. When we started Routine, we wanted to have a tool that was combining tasks, events, contacts, and notes, and all of that into a single tool. And so those are types of entities because they have different meaning, they have different information. A task, for instance, has a planning information, the status of the task. An event has a start and end date. A person, a contact, has obviously a name, an email address, and maybe a phone number, and maybe a photo, something like this. So you can see that the information, the data attached to every type of information is different. Now the problem with existing tools, say Google Calendar for the calendar part, is that you cannot really define or extend the data representing what is an event, or what is a contact, or what is a calendar. You are fixed by the tool, Google Calendar or Gmail for email, etc. Now Routine now has the capability of allowing users, you, to extend those properties, those attributes, by adding anything you want, which means that you can actually extend and build the workflow out of those original data items like events from your calendars, tasks, pages with notes, and contacts. It might still be a bit abstract, so let me explain and show what that means. Let's take two examples which are very common. The first one is that in your task, we don't have the concept of a priority. And some people want that, being high, medium, low, or P1, P2, P3, whatever you want to use. But the concept is the same, is that you would like to attach a priority, which is another information to your tasks. Likewise, some people, most people, want to organize their tasks by labels or tags so that you can group them together based on some topic or something like this. It could be a project as well. Really depends on what you want to do. Now, the problem with the labels is that it exists in other tools like Todoist or Gmail, but those are, again, really isolated to the entity in question, so the email in Gmail or the task in Todoist. But in routine, as I will show you in a minute, you can actually link multiple type of entities, so task, pages, etc., all link them to a label so that you can label with the same system of labeling. You can group together with the same topic a group of tasks, a group of pages, a group of people, a group of events, all of those associated to the same label. Let's see what it means. So if you go to settings and then to types, you will see that you have the default types, and then you can create additional types. Maybe you've seen this in a previous release, which really allows you to create the entity that you want to manipulate, being movies, books for individuals, or customers, projects for professionals maybe. But here what interests us is the ability to extend the default types. So let's take the task type. Here's what I've done. I've added, by adding like this, a priority which is a select. So if I edit it to show you with P1, P2, and P3. So fairly simple. And I've also added another one which is a relation to another type which is called label, which I've created especially for that, specifically for that demonstration. You can see the label type is nothing more than a title and some notes. Nothing more. So very, very simple. Now the beauty is that the task is linking, so every task will have a relation, a link to a label. But I've also done the same with pages. So pages, the page type also has a relation to the label. And I can also do the same with, let's say, events by adding a relation to labels, and I just pick the label type, which must be here. And I update my type. Now, what does that mean? It means that now I can actually create some labels. So you can open the label type, go to objects, and you can create additional label if you want to, or you can create, let's say, in a page. So I've created here a page named label, and I've done nothing more than, I'm just going to recreate it here, I've done nothing more than a view on the type label, sorry. And by doing so, I can see all of my labels. And I can create another ones like, I don't know, project, Acme, whatever we want. Now you can see that we see the different labels. That's all good. Now what's next? What's next is that now in your tasks or in your events or in your pages, when you open them, you will have new properties. And you can set those. So you could say, buy a new bed cabinet, that's, I'm going to label it as home, and the priority is P2. And I'm going to say this task is priority P1. And by doing so, what I have now is that if I go to my notes, I can create a specific view of all the tasks in P1. Now you can see it's not very, very nice. The reason is that we are still working on the views. The querying has to be written by hand, which you can imagine is really difficult, but we are actually putting together a UI so that you can filter, group, sort, select the properties, which you can already do here, etc., etc., etc. So all of that is going to be a lot easier to manipulate. But the idea is the same, is that you can take anything and just so an object by default, a task, an event, a person, whatever, and you can add those different properties. The same is here for a page. I can actually link it to, say, I don't know, work through a label. So anything that we want can be extended or created because, as I've mentioned, not only can you now extend those default types, but you can also create new purely custom types as well. Let's talk about the other features that we have introduced, which are all related to notes. The first one is attachments. So now what you can do in your notes is upload some documents, images, etc. files, and you can select something. So I'm going to just do a screenshot. I can actually drag it, drop it, it works, but you could do the same with upload. We've also reworked the embed so that they work better for more platforms, or you can choose to upload from here. So fairly simple, but this allows to put more data in routine, in particular for documenting maybe your project or the knowledge in your company. That's particularly important as we are going to launch collaboration very soon. The other thing that we've done is introducing a floating table of content, as you can see here. So that allows to very quickly navigate between the different sections in your documents, in your notes, but without having something that stays at the top, which would be a bit annoying because you have to go back to the top to then see the whole table of contents. Here it's always there, it's very minimal, hidden, and you just hover and that's it. You can change where you want to go. So fairly easy to use. And the final one is spell checking, which is the ability to configure how spell checking is going to be recognized or even enabled. So now you can go to settings and you can go to preferences and you can define or add languages for the spell checker. You can also disable it, and routine is going to adapt to underline the languages that routine doesn't recognize in the notes, and that's it. So really 3 features related to notes with the attachments, the floating table of contents, and the spell checking, and 2 massive other functionalities. AI notes, which is the first step for routine in the AI space. A lot is coming early next year, and the ability to extend default types, which is an amazing addition because it really has no limit. You can do anything with it. You can basically group your events, meetings by a customer or by a project so that you can find them later, or you can just extend task management by adding a due date, a priority, a relation to a dependency. Whatever you can think about is now possible in routine. That's it. Hope you like it, and stay tuned because a lot is coming up next year. Thank you.